let's shift to one of Kamara's teammates in his position that he dominated for the second straight year. Michael Thomas, 149 catches on the season. Jeez, man. All right. Here are the guys that had more than 80 catches, and we'll see which one catches your attention. That's going to be able to top 100 catches next season. Hit that century mark. So aside from Michael Thomas, we got Keenan Allen, DeAndre Hopkins, and Julian Edelman that hit 100. Those three did it. Keenan, DeAndre, Julian, and then the others between 82 and 99, Julio Jones, Allen Robinson, Cooper Kupp, Tyler Boyd, Robert Woods, his 2 Rams in the 90s, DJ Moore at 87, 86 for Chris Godwin, Mike Evans. No, sorry, not Mike Evans. But then we got 83, 82, Devontae Adams, Jarvis Landry, Tyler Lockett. So that's the 80 and up club. Do any of them top 100 catches next season?
I was looking through the list and I got let's see, I got Michael Thomas easy. I got Hopkins. I just think with him, like, I know Fitz is still going strong, but I don't know how much you can reasonably expect from him. I mean, his numbers have been declining a little bit. You know, he kind of started off last year good, but then he kind of tailed off at the end. So I think D-Hop's going to have a ton of targets next year. Julio's always right there. I think he had like 98. You said 98 last year. So I feel like besides Ridley, they don't really have anyone else. And I know you kind of alluded earlier that you think the Falcons are going to be a run team. I think they're going to be pass heavy this year. So
Okay.
I think he'll get it. And then Devontae Adams, I think easily gets it. If he wasn't hurt last year, he would have easily. I think he would have got it. And then my last guy in there was Allen Robinson. So I think those 5, because I mean, they literally have no one else to throw to. So I think he's going to get a ton of targets. And you know, kind of same thing. I'm looking at guys who don't have great number 2 or number 3 receiving options on their team. So I think those 5 will get it. I really wanted to put DJ Moore in there because I freaking love that guy. I think he's a stud. I don't know how if he's going to be able to do as well this year with Teddy, and you know they have McCaffrey, so I don't know how pass heavy they will be. But man, that guy's a stud. And then my one sleeper that wasn't on the list that I think could crack the 100 receptions is Kenny Golladay. I think he's a household name. I think people know about him, but I mean, I look at another situation where they have no one else to throw to unless you count Marvin Jones, who is pretty much over the hill in my opinion. So I think I think he has the potential to get some massive target share this year. And so if I just had to pick one sleeper that wasn't on that list, and I kept going back to him. So that's my
dig
list.
it. I dig it, dude. I just didn't like the Lions don't have guys to throw to. I think they're stacked, loaded. I think they're a playoff team. I think it's that team in the NFC on the rise, dude. I really do. All right. Obviously, I agree with you on Michael Thomas. I think 100% of the world does that watches football. Second guy on my list that I might bet on is actually Julian Edelman. Cam Newton checks down. Who else is there? You're featuring Julian Edelman. You're not featuring Mohamed Sanu, whoever their tight ends are. N'Keal Harry, not yet. Hold on. Oh, yeah, there's James White. There's Sony Michel. It's Julian Edelman's team, like it or not, tired of him or not, think he's an elite talent or not. That's just how I see that situation. Jared Stidham, if he's the guy in the lineup, and I don't think he is, young quarterback, he's going to need a safety valve. I don't think he's going to be the guy, though. I think Cam Newton is. He's going to run, throw deep, and when he realizes there's no one deep to really throw to unless N'Keal Harry steps up, it's Jules all day. Cam all day and hoping James White can give you a little bit more like Austin Eckler did. So I find it hard. I'm hard pressed to say Julian Edelman wouldn't even sniff that number. I think he hits the century mark. And then I only have a few other guys that I think can. I think both guys in Tampa Bay can. I look back. Tom Brady in 2007, he threw 112 passes to Wes Welker. Randy Moss had 98. There's room for two with Tom Brady. There is. I wouldn't bet on any of the Buccaneers, but just bringing that up because I see that's a possibility. It's just tough, though, because Bruce Arians, Tom Brady, that's going to work. But I wouldn't bet on one of those receivers actually hitting 100. I just know it's possible. And then the last guy is Devontae Adams. He missed a month. Paul, you said it already, and I agree. I think he's one of the elite receivers in the league. I think he's in store for a monster season where he finishes in the top 3 in fantasy. Drew, I know you know that. Do you agree or disagree with Devontae hitting 100? Because here's what I know. Missing a month of football, he had 83 catches and just shy of 1,000 yards. He gets 4 to 6 catches a game. That's over 100 catches easily, well over 1,000 yards. So do you think Devontae hits 100? And who else do you have on your list?
Normally, I would say Devontae hits that 100. Like you said, he missed time and he racked it up. But based off our last conversation, our last video, there's a reason that draft went the way it did in Green Bay. It just seems to me that everything points to them taking the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands just a little bit. And his family's talked about it. Locker room guys have talked about it. Coaches have talked about it. Aaron is one to hold grudges, and he'll show it on the field too. Led the league in throwaways. A lot of the times, listening to, that film study, who is it that they always, Greg Cosell, 40 years in film, and he's never subjective. He said watching Aaron Rodgers is kind of a little offbeat, but there were plays in the offense where receivers were open, but he still led the league in throwaways. So something's not right there. I think that was a punch in the gut with all those draft picks in Green Bay. I think the ball's going to be out of Aaron's hands. I still think Devontae Adams is going to dominate stat-wise, fantasy-wise, as one of the top 3 receivers. He always is, barring injury, of course. But 100 catches, I don't really see it. Since 2012, we've had actually a ton of 100-yard catchers. So we've averaged almost 6 wide receivers every year hitting that mark since 2012. In 2018, we had 11 pass catchers hit 100 catches. So last year was kind of weird, a few minor hiccups with injuries and whatnot. But I still believe that we're on that upward trend to hit 6 or better. I'll take the over this coming year. I have a couple of different sleepers. Agree with me or not, but I do see some big things happening this year. I know players are going to miss time with this pandemic, but if you think about it, a lot of the top tier wide receivers that we and most of the community expect to hit that century mark, they've already built that quarterback chemistry. The only ones that are trying to build that quarterback chemistry this year is Nuke Hopkins, Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, and Chris Godwin, right, with new quarterbacks. So that being said, I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way to the top. I don't want this to seem biased because I'm a Rams fan, but Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. And I'm only going to say that because it's a negative aspect to the team. I mean, there's 72 targets to share from Cook leaving to Houston. But to me, playoff teams are supposed to build from the inside out, and we're not exactly doing that, or we're not sold on doing that. I have our best left tackle, Andrew Whitworth. He's going to be 39 before Christmas, and then we lost Todd Gurley. We took a rookie in Cam Akers from Florida State. He barely hit 1,000 yards, barely 5 yards per carry. That's not exactly stunning for a running back taken in the second round. We lost Dante Fowler. We drafted an injury-riddled Terrell Lewis from Alabama, who's great, but he's missed half the time that he's supposed to be on the field. And the division got stronger. We're stagnant or at least falling behind. Our strength of schedule is number 10 this year. So how are we supposed to keep up? So in my eyes, like you said, Cooper Kupp had 94. He only needs 6 catches. Robert Woods had 90, so he only needs 10. So being a longtime Ram fan, I feel like true fans always carry the harshest criticism too, as well as praises. But we're gonna be playing from behind a lot this year, and I see a lot of Jared Goff's arm getting tired. Moving up the list, I got Juju. Juju coming back, Big Ben. They've already talked about moving him back to the slot where he thrives. You know, as a rookie, he was only 20 years old. He played 14 games, 80 targets, almost 1,000 yards with 7 touchdowns. That was when Le'Veon was on the team, 300 carries, and AB had 160 targets himself. So he can make it happen, even if he's not the only receiver on the team. But Big Ben's back. I think Big Ben's coming back this year with a chip on his shoulder. He's going to prove all the naysayers wrong, right? In my opinion, if you don't like Big Ben, you just don't like football. He's a gamer. He's a competitor. He'll do whatever it takes to win, as much as people call him out for being a diva. Did we hear from him at all last year or in the offseason? No. You know, he kept to himself. He was on the sideline of every home game with his headset on, with his team. So Juju's crazy, crazy talented, and I believe in him, but this is more about Big Ben for me, especially with all the talk about Lamar and Baker and Burrow. He's got to be crazy motivated. But he's a great teammate. I know he can make it happen. Juju's a freak. One of the highlights I remember, too, is when Antonio Brown got knocked out with an illegal head hit from Vontae Burfict.
Oh, yeah.
His rookie year, Juju came back and blindsided Burfict and knocked him out of the game. That was one of my favorite plays that I've ever seen, only because, you know, I'm not one for injuries and I don't like to cheer for that, but there's a special player that, you know, that Vontae Burfict has created for himself, and he deserved that. So, you know, Juju's on the list for sure. We talked about this a little bit. Allen Robinson's on the list. He hit 100 one time. Quick pop quiz, though, for both of you. Aside from the 98 catches for Allen Robinson last year, which one of these stats has he hit before in one season? 150 targets, 1,400 receiving yards, or 14 touchdowns?
1,400 receiving yards.
Yeah, I was going to say the same.
It's all of them. He had 150 targets, he had 1,400 receiving yards, and he had the 14 touchdowns.
And
who was it with?
It was with Jacksonville, but last year was the first time he showed up on the map since that year.
Exactly. But he made all that noise, all that quiet noise, we can call it, with Mr. Blake Bortles. So when Nick Foles taking over, and trust me, he's taking over, you can tell me that the numbers won't rise, but he posted that 98 catches, almost 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns with Trubisky, and a couple games with Chase Daniels. He's going to hit it. So even with the 2 games with Chase Daniels, he had an average over the 2 games of 14 catches, 174 yards, 2 touchdowns. In my eyes, he's kind of the copycat to DeAndre Hopkins. Doesn't matter which quarterback is throwing in the ball, he's going to produce. Talked a lot about Chris Godwin, too. I think Chris Godwin's one of the ones on that team that's going to hit 100. He had 86 catches last year. That was BT before Tom. The turnover margin for Brady last year, number 1, right? Doesn't turn the ball over. That's his specialty. Tom Brady's always in that top tier. The Bucs in turnovers against them were 28th in the league. So ever since 2010, Tom Brady himself, over the past 10 years, he's averaged 4th. So he really doesn't turn the ball over. He's taking care of the ball. And guess what? The Bucs placed 3rd in offensive yards last year. So just imagine what Tom Brady's going to do with his pocket presence, and even more with the improvement of their O-line. So they were actually top 10 last year in quarterback protection based off of sacks surrendered. And they drafted Tristan Wirfs. They got another tackle from Iowa. They got another tackle from the Colts, who was a 4-year, 40% share starter. So they boosted that O-line because they knew Brady was coming. I think there's a lot of numbers to be thrown out there for Chris Godwin specifically over Mike Evans. We talked a little about Julio. I mean, Julio's a beast, and 2019 was kind of disappointing for them. They went 1-7 to start the year, but then they went 6-1. So I think they're coming back with something to prove. Tom Brady's now in the division, so you know there's going to be definitely points scored on the board. Austin Hooper had 88 targets, so that's now up for grabs. Not really anybody to compete besides Ridley for those target shares. So I think that's going to help.
No Hayden Hurst love.
Yeah, I mean, Hayden Hurst is great. I do like Hayden Hurst, but it takes a while for tight ends. You know, it takes a while for tight ends in a new offense, especially, again, I mean, a lot of my arguments, a lot of what you hear now is it's going to be a lot harder for undrafted rookies, or even free agents to come on a team and make that salary or get guaranteed a paycheck for anywhere from 1 to 3 years. You're not going to have time to learn the offense. It's going to be a lot harder for you to be even on the field. I know they're trying to make it work with these calls, Zoom meetings, but that's not the same as having that person right next to you or on the field. But Hayden Hurst I just think Julio's been doing it forever. It'll be a lot easier for him to see less double coverage because we think Gurley's going to be a monster this year too. And then obviously Michael Thomas. That'll be 3 years in a row right now. He had 92 catches as a rookie, but 149 catches last year. That is a single season record. It was previously held by Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison back in the day had 143 catches. That was 18 years ago. Beast. So there are only two guys that have had more, or that have had the same chance of hitting that mark the past 2 decades. It was Antonio Brown in 2015. He had 136 catches, but looks like the only target he's going to be receiving right now is, targets from his self-destructing personalities, but we'll just leave that to the side. But the other one is Julio Jones. Julio Jones had 136 before too. So let's put it this way. If you guys remember, there was a guy in the NFL known as Ocho Cinco, formerly known as Chad Johnson. His best quote when he always had the mic'd up episodes, he would always say, there's only 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and 85 is going to be open. Take out 85, plug in 13, you got Michael Thomas, man. He's in that 100 for sure.
Damn. MT. Who. Hey, real quick, best wide receiver, or rank the 4 wide receivers, top of your head, NFC North. Paul. Devontae Adams, Allen Robinson, Kenny Golladay, Adam Thielen. Put you on the spot, guys.
Good one. No,
Devontae,
I love Allen Robinson. Penn State, yeah. I'd say, I got, damn. I don't know, man. I want to put, I'd put Allen Robinson first, then I put Devontae Adams, Golladay, and Thielen.
I didn't hear the rest of the list. I just heard Allen Robinson first. What was 2, 3, and 4?
You said off the top of your head, yeah. That's what I got. Then I said Devontae Adams, Golladay, and Thielen.
Okay, all right. Drew?
I have the same kind of lineup, but just switch Devontae and Allen Robinson. So Devontae, A-Rob, Golladay, Thielen.
That's what I got. Right there. That's what I got. Nice. All right.